Okay, all right. I'll just continue to add folks as we go along. But thank you so much for sticking around and thanks so much for your time. Today's or this time's topic rather is going to be an introduction to the Education Abroad program. For those of you that don't know me or are just joining, I'm Holly Mays. I work for the Department of Associated Students as the Assistant Director of Governmental Affairs. And before we introduce our facilitator, Adrian, I would like to uh, give the floor to our internal vice president, B. Schaefer.
Hi, everyone. I'm B. Schaefer. I wanted to say hello on behalf of the AS President, EBPLA, and Student Advocate General, and myself. I would like to welcome you to this Educational Abroad Program training session. The following curriculum supports our vision for the 2021-2022 academic year and the knowledge we find essential for the association as we start fall quarter. Please note that this training session is a portion of the information you will be required to learn as per legal code. Please take this time to be an active participant and engage with your fellow peers. We look forward to serving with you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Holly.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, B. And next, I want to pass it over to our facilitator, Adrian, to introduce themselves.
Hello, thank you so much, Holly and B, for having me. Hello, everyone. My name is Adrienne Cifuentes. My pronouns are she and her, and I am a regional advisor in the Education Abroad Program Office at UCSB. I studied abroad on EAP my full junior year. It completely changed my perspective on life. And I know that it was a challenge for me to go through kind of all the hurdles of the planning and the finances. So that's why I became an advisor, is to help make it possible for other students. So I'm super excited to give you guys an overview of what EAP is, how it works, how to find the information, and then we'll do a little demo where you guys get to play around with the tools as well. So I'm going to kick it off with a presentation. Let me make sure I got my sound on. All right, and we're doing this one. Here we go. Slideshow, please. There we are. Alrighty. So usually when I do a presentation, let's see, interesting. I don't know what this warning label is. Okay. I like to have returnees with me so you can hear from recent returnees about their experience. So they weren't able to be with me today, but we do have some of our last year's peer advisors. So I'm going to show you a video of what they thought about their experience. Oh, good. I see there was a delay about sharing my screen. Okay. All right. Well, it looks like the video is not working. So we're just going to move on. There we go. So before I get into it, the first question on everyone's mind is study abroad still a thing with COVID-19? It had been postponed for a good long while our safety, security, and emergency response team was vetting all of our locations. We currently have about over 200 students abroad, which we're really excited about after a year and a half hiatus. So we have those students abroad in a range of countries throughout the world. We have even more set to leave in January for programs abroad. And then looking ahead to 2022, 23, all programs are scheduled to run as planned. And then if there are any updates or changes, we notify anyone who's even started an application of any updates. And of course, we'll send you emails, and we also post any updates on our website so you know which countries are open, which countries are closed, and how updates move along. Our recruitment cycle is about a year in advance. So you apply a year early before you want to go abroad. So a lot can change in a year. There is no application fee. You can change your mind. You can withdraw your application several months even after you've been accepted. And if your program is canceled due to COVID, then you'll be refunded all of your UCAP fees. So it is absolutely worth planning ahead, getting in an application, and then we'll take it from there step by step to make sure that you're abroad if it's safe and able for you to be there. So the UC Education Abroad program is shared with all of the UC campuses, and it is UCSB's specific study abroad program. There are other ways to study abroad. You can take a leave of absence from UCSB. There's other organizations, but UCSB EAP is an office on campus, so we can guide you through the whole process. You get to stay enrolled at UCSB while you're abroad. So you're going to be enrolled at UCSB and whichever partner university abroad that you're at as well. And this means that 100% of the units that you take abroad, guaranteed, will transfer back automatically to UCSB and appear on your UCSB transcript. So that includes grades, units, course title, and that way you can petition them to count for major, minor, GE requirements, language requirements, honors thesis, research units, internship units, whatever it is you need to get done, you can do it abroad because all of the classes are UC classes. It also means that your financial aid goes with you. So your financial aid will automatically repackage and shift towards UCAP, so there's nothing you need to do there. So grants, scholarships, loans, VA benefits, those all get readjusted and follow you abroad. There's also additional scholarships you can apply for, and our office does weekly scholarship info sessions, reviewing scholarship essays with you because we want you guys to get that funding. And then our office is here. We're going to be open on campus in the fall. We'll also have virtual advising available. And so we support you from when you're just thinking about going abroad, doing your application, pre-departure, when you're getting your housing and your visa and all that good stuff. When you get abroad, we also have staff on site in all of our locations. So you're never just thrown out into the wilderness and you have to figure it out. There's always staff with you along the way. So why go abroad? UCSB was the first UC to start the UC Education Abroad program. So we kind of have a legacy, and a lot of our students do go abroad. We usually send over 1,000 every year. But nationwide, only about 2% of students study abroad. So it's something that automatically distinguishes yourself as a student and on your resume. And it's an instant conversation starter with any interview you might have. While you're abroad, you're going to have access to classes and possibly whole disciplines like business or medicine that UCSB just doesn't offer. So you can really delve into something that you're really interested in or expand to a new area that you haven't had before. You'll be in classes with students possibly from other UCs, other countries, the local university, and also professors who have had a variety of different experiences than you have. So you're going to get a very different perspective. If any of you are thinking about learning a language or you want to master a language, become fluent, this is definitely the way to do it. I studied Spanish for 3 years in high school, 2 years in college. I still could not speak it. But after college, I moved to Spain to teach English, and I was speaking pretty fluently within about 4 to 5 months. That made a huge difference. So if that's something you want for yourself, this is the time to go do it. You're going to get a lot of personal and self-developmental skills, which you cannot get from reading about it in a book or hearing about your friend who studied abroad. The independence, the confidence, the problem solving, the intercultural communication skills, those and more come with stepping outside of your comfort zone, adapting. And for me, I felt like that's when I actually met myself for the first time and what I was totally capable of, which was a lot. And I saw at that time that I could have a completely international life. And that's what I've been able to create for myself since then. Later in life, you're going to be able to travel for sure. Everyone has their 2 weeks vacations. But if you want to be somewhere for a longer extended amount of time, that is actually very challenging to do outside of an education standpoint. So this is the time to do it and be like a local instead of a tourist. And last but not least, adventure. I think we all need a little adventure right now. So UCAP is a great way to do that because, it's structured adventure. We set it up for you. You kind of know the steps to get there. You have support if you're there, but you get to explore a whole new world independently. So where can you go? You can go over 40 countries, and within all of these countries, there's various cities, various universities you can choose from. So all in all, there's about 160 options for where you can go to study abroad. And we always recommend maybe considering a country that you're not going to visit as a tourist later in life, or somewhere that's a little bit outside your comfort zone, because again, you're going to have that support with you so that you can thrive in that new environment. You can go for a full academic year, which is highly recommended because you're going to have access to more classes. It's cheaper. You're going to have access to more scholarships, and all of those personal growth benefits, access to internships and research just expand with the year. Most universities abroad are on the semester system. So how that works back at UCSB is the program would start in September or August and go through December. So you would just be away from UCSB for fall quarter, or a spring semester typically starts in January and ends in May or maybe June. And so that's a spring semester that will cover winter and spring quarters at UCSB. And if you're not sure about the year, that sounds a little scary, you can sign up for the fall. And for many programs, you'll have an option to extend to the year after you get there and you have a chance to feel it out. There are a couple quarter options, not too many, and there are a lot of summer options as well. But the caveat with summer is that they tend to be more expensive and the class list is much more reduced. So it's there, but if you want some more bang for your buck, more of that big experience, go for as long as possible. So I'm going to kind of narrow it down to a couple different experience types. There's over 160 programs. So how do you narrow it down? You want to think about what kind of experience you want to have. So the first is immersion. So this is Isaiah. He went to University of Barcelona. So immersion is when you are at a local university, just like you're at UCSB. You're going to be with local students in your classrooms, in the housing. You are going to be a full local student, have access to clubs and organizations. This is a really good place if you want to take credit for your major. Maybe you have a double major and a minor, maybe some GEs you need to do. If you need to take a whole bunch of different subject areas, an immersion program at a local university abroad is a great choice. It's also one of the more affordable options. An international experience, this sounds kind of counterintuitive because aren't they all international? Yes. But you are the international piece to this one. So this is where you go to a local university. This is Yonsei University in Korea. And you'll be taking classes designed for international students like you. So it might be on the local culture, the local language, they might have field trips built in, but it's all going to be international students or US students, not so much host university students, but you'll be in a host university setting. A little more like that is a themed program. So these can be set on a general theme, something like art and culture in Italy, or it can be on a major theme like biodiversity in Costa Rica, or public health in the Dominican Republic, or economics in the Netherlands, those kinds of things. And so these programs tend to be a shorter course list to choose from, all focused on that one theme. So you can't take, some of this, some of that. It's very focused. But they usually have field trips built in and it's very hands-on. Pictured are students in Amman, Jordan on the Middle East Studies program. So lots of field trips and like a cooking class and lots of excursions. Language, again, study abroad is definitely the best way to learn a language. So you'll be in small class sizes, but really all of your language learning is typically going to happen outside the classroom. And that's what makes it so immersive and impressive, fires those synapses, those language learning abilities, because you're going to be using it and hearing it when you're out walking around, when you're going to restaurants, you're going to shops, you're actually using it. There are also internships and research abroad. So as an experience type, these would be like a full-time internship or research, or maybe like a part-time where you're doing half internship or research and like half classes. So when you're using our search engine, that's kind of what we're referring to. But you could also do a full-time course study, say at an immersion program at a host university, and you can add on an internship or add on research, kind of like you would at UCSB. So that's another really nice option. If you're trying to find a way to do both, you can definitely do both abroad. So academic planning is a really important piece, and this is the piece that probably takes the longest. So we have so many resources for you, and we are happy to help. So this is the EAP UCSB website. This is our website, and we have gotten advice from your major departments about what they advise students who are thinking about going abroad. So you can look up your major, see what they recommend, And you want to contact them directly if you have any questions about, well, what should I be taking while abroad to stay on track for my major? That is up to your major department. If you're taking any classes abroad for major credit, your major department is the one to approve it. It all comes back to them. So we have another tool. It's called Gaucho Credit Abroad. So it's kind of cut off at the bottom, but it looks like this. And this is a really handy historical database of all of the classes that UCSB students have taken in the past for major or GE credit. So it's historical. It's not everything that's possible and out there, but it's a really nice way to say, like, okay, I know that I need to take like 2 upper division biology elective classes, and I need a writing GE class. You can use the Gaucho Credit Abroad database to look for that and see which countries, which universities abroad students have taken in the past. So that's a really nice signpost to be like, oh, I found so many options in Italy and in China and in Brazil. I'm going to look into those further to see their current courses. So that's how we use that. So again, this is all on the EAP UCSB website. So the next question that comes up is program costs. It really varies depending on the program and the term that you go abroad. So whether it's a year, fall semester, spring semester, quarter, summer, they all have different costs. And this is mainly due to the cost of living in the country that you're in. California is very expensive. Santa Barbara is very expensive. So the cost of living in other countries is actually more affordable. Like you could have your own room in a prime location in the center of Berlin. Again, private room, maybe even a private bathroom for cheaper or about the same as a double room in Isla Vista. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. So when you're looking at program costs, they're all published on our website. That big number is not what you are going to be billed for. It is a total culmination of what to expect to get you abroad and to live abroad. So it includes tuition and fees, but it also includes the estimated cost of rent, estimated cost of food for that term, your international cell phone plan, international health insurance, toiletries. Maybe everyone over there rides a bike. We have factored in the cost of a used bike, local bus passes, like really anything you need, we have factored into that total number. So you can make a realistic estimate of if that's going to be affordable for you. And that giant number is what the financial aid office also takes into account. And they will repackage your financial aid, again, grants, scholarships, and loans based on that new number for your EAP program. We also have a wonderful financial aid calculator on our website. It's also on the financial aid website. So you can plug in like how much your study abroad program costs, what your estimated family contribution is, and it will tell you how much financial aid you can expect when you go abroad. We also have a financial aid advisor dedicated for EAP to answer any of those questions and kind of troubleshoot like, well, this term is going to be tight financially, consider this term. That might work better for you. Housing. So I know we're all aware of UCSB's housing situation. That is so not the case with pretty much any location abroad. I can think of one where it's a little tight, but nowhere near what UCSB is experiencing. So going abroad is a great way to not have to deal with housing at UCSB and IB. It's wonderful. So housing abroad is either guaranteed and set up for you, or you set it up, but we give you all of the instructions and deadlines, and so you'll have that housing before you get abroad. There are a couple programs where you find your housing once you get over there, but again, we'll set you up with all the information you need. And housing varies by program. Sometimes you have a whole bunch of options to choose from. Sometimes it's only one or two, but typically they might be a dorm, and by dorm, we usually mean singles. Sharing a room internationally is kind of unheard of. That's very much an American thing. Apartments or a homestay. So homestays are by far the best way to eat really well because they cook for you. But also if you want to learn a language, homestay is the way to go. So with that, I got the request that you guys want a little bit of interaction. I'm sure you guys are on Zoom like all day doing your training. So we're going to jump onto the UCAP website and we're going to do a little program search. So I'm going to exit out of here so I can drop you guys the link. And I'm going to head over here. So this is what we're going to look for. So I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to drop it in the chat. Make sure that goes out to everyone. So if everyone could please go to the link in the chat, it's ucap.universityofcalifornia.edu. Cool beans. So this is what you should be seeing on the UCAP homepage, and you see these two little updates on here. So this is all about any programs that were suspended or canceled due to COVID-19, and any tips about that, like how to plan for your finances and your academics and program cancellations. Really good info right here. This is live updated information. And this is fairly new information just about the UC vaccine mandate. But for us, we're going to hop over to this menu. There's a lot of good resources here, but I'm going to cut to the chase and go to find a program. So if you can follow along and find a program from that menu. And it looks like this. It's a big search engine. So you can see there's 165 programs. And then here, I just want you guys to just play around with this and see where you might be interested in taking classes. So you can see region, you can see country, you have academic disciplines. I'm getting a little warning message. Can someone please tell me if you can see this? Oh, you don't see it on my screen. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you. Yeah, I got that little warning message. Let me see. I'm going to stop sharing and share again. One moment. There we go. All right. So for those of you who I lost, sorry about that. I'm going to give you the direct link. So this is the direct link to the program search tool that we're going to use. So it just has an extra / programs. Nice. So I was just showing you over here on the left, this is where all the program filters are. So you can put in region of the world if you want to keep it kind of open-ended. If you have an idea for country or countries, you can select those individual countries here. Disciplines, so these are kind of grouped by academic specialty. And once you choose one, it's going to create this new field for subject area. So you can get it really narrowed down to your specific major if you'd like to. What language the classes are taught in. So classes taught in English. There's actually classes taught in English in over 35 countries, even if the local language isn't English. But if you wanted to, like, if you're studying, say, Spanish, and you're pre-health, so you want to take some biology classes taught in Spanish, highly recommended. You can search for that. And then we've got those experience types that we kind of talked about. It's worth searching. It's an imperfect tool, so I have seen a couple glitches. But again, I highly recommend the Immersion where you're at a local university. You can search by term you want to go, GPA level, all that good stuff. So I'm going to give you guys, let me check my time here. I'm going to give you guys about 3 to 5 minutes, so at 2:30. But please play around with this search tool and see if you can kind of narrow down your options to ones that you might be interested in, eligible for, just so you kind of get familiar with what exists out there. So play around with that, and at 2:30, we'll chat again. All righty, it is 2:30. I hope you had a good time kind of scrolling around, checking out some options that might work for you and your interests. So I'm just going to show you just where to find more detailed information if you wanted more. So I'm going to click on University of Copenhagen over here in Denmark as an example. So if you're like, yes, this is what I want to apply to, here is the application right there. But before doing that, you'd always want to check out kind of this additional info. So like, when is the program happening? You know, check out those are semester dates there, how long it is. If you click on this, it'll tell you a little bit more about eligibility. And if you're close to the GPA, but not quite, let our office know, and we might be able to do a GPA waiver or give you advice. So contact us if you're like really close. This is also where you're going to find the academic requirements. So each location abroad is going to offer a different amount of classes and different amount of units. So like University of Copenhagen, for example, you only take 2 to 4 classes for the semester, and you're going to get between 18 and 24 units for it. So each class is going to be really high unit value if you're only taking 2 classes and getting up to 24 units. And then down here, you're going to be able to see the actual current course catalog. So this is everything that's currently available, and this is where you would select your classes from. Over here, you're going to be able to see what the housing options are. So like here, you get to choose an apartment or a dorm. They say self-arranged, but you will definitely be getting guidance of when to do this and instructions for how to apply. If there are internships available, there will be an internship tab here with additional information about like what kind, how long, and then how to find them. And cost, super, super important. So this is that big total I was talking about. This includes all of your living expenses. This is not what you would be like billed for. But if you scroll down a little bit more, you can actually create a customized financial estimate based on who you are and which term you want to go abroad. So I'm going to say a year here. And then it breaks it down for you. So you can see tuition and fees. So really that's what the bill is going to be for. And then everything else, these are living expenses. But again, financial aid is going to take the total cost into account when they're going to give you financial aid. So it does include an estimate for those personal living expenses. Cool stuff. So that is the EAP website. There are 2 websites just to make everyone's life a little bit more confusing. So the one I'm on right now is the UC EAP website. So this is the one shared with all UC campuses. So if you have a friend at a different campus, you guys can go study abroad together. And this is where all those program details are. And this is where you start the application. Back on the UCSB EAP website, this is our website. This is where you're going to find the application deadlines because it's specific by UC campus. And this is where we're going to give you your major specific information, finances and scholarship information specifically for Gauchos. Our advising office is up here to contact us. And we have events. We're going to have so many events in fall quarter. So you can come, you know, taste a little bit of France and maybe Japan and maybe South Africa and test it around. We'll also have major specific info sessions and sessions based on like how to find classes, how to really read that program cost, and how to apply for scholarships and how to make a really strong scholarship essay. So we have tons of events coming up. So check back when school starts on this events tab, and we'll also be posting all over the place on social media. So I'm going to switch back to the very tail end of my presentation so you can see how to find out more. There we go. Cool. So we went through the website. So when to apply. So you could actually still study abroad this coming winter or spring quarters or semester. We just extended some deadlines, specifically because we know that students are having a hard time finding housing. So this is a good way to get abroad for winter and spring and continue on academic progress. So if you hear of any students who are thinking about taking a year off, please send them our way and we can hopefully get them abroad so they can stay on track with their majors. For next academic year, 2022-23, applications will open this October, and most applications will be due some in November, but mostly in the winter quarter. So this is a good time to start planning if you want to study abroad for next year. So what do you want to do now? Really, it's all about when you want to go and what classes you want to take while you're there. So what classes to take, that's all about you and your major advisor. So you want to talk with your major advisor, check out our resources on our academics page, explore your programs and come to our info sessions. And of course, you can talk to regional advisors like me who specialize in certain countries, and then you apply. There are some programs that are impacted, but most of them are not. So it's more of a registration process. So you only apply to one for a given term, because most of the time it's not impacted and you are in. If you apply and you're eligible, that's all it takes and you're in. So here is our contact information. We are a super friendly office. Please contact us with a million questions. We love that. So you have our website, our email address. We're very active on Instagram. We post all of our events on there. We do student takeovers. And then our YouTube channel has a wealth of resources. So recorded info sessions, student testimonials from various majors and countries and how-tos and all that good stuff. So please check us out. Come say hi in the fall, either virtually or in person. We'll be around. So with that, I'm going to wrap up that presentation. Oh, and we have tons of time. Amazing. So now we can do a Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat and I am happy to answer any questions that you guys have. Ooh, I see some raised hands too. Gio.
Yeah, hi, thank you for this information. I was actually like looking at the education abroad program like a couple of days ago and doing a lot of this like research myself. So I'll probably be reaching out to y'all soon. But I was trying to look for summer options of next year, and I saw that like y'all haven't had any like updated postings. So my question was if you know if summer is gonna be an option next summer, and like when that kind of information will be posted, as well as like what's it called, deadlines and stuff like that.
Yes, everything should be up by October 1st. So I know like the info for deadlines and our website, the UCSB EAP website, we're planning to have everything updated by the first day of classes, which is next Thursday. The big UCAP website with all of that detailed information on the actual applications, that should be open by October 1st. So just check in with us in a couple weeks and we'll have everything updated for you. I got a question in the chat about what majors are offered. All majors can study abroad. It just takes planning, know your major, know what classes you need to be taking when, and if there's any flexibility to like move stuff around, and then finding a program that offers the kinds of classes that you need. So you would work between your major advisor if you have any questions about what you should be taking, and you can work with our office if you're having any trouble finding a program that offers the type of classes that you need. But there are classes available for absolutely all majors, and all majors are eligible to go. B, did you have a question?
I did not. I apologize.
No worries. All right, I got a question. If you are a senior graduating in winter or spring, are we still able to study abroad the summer after we graduate? Yes. Excellent question, Jocelyn. I get this all the time. You can definitely study abroad after you graduate. So graduate can mean a couple different things. So you can complete your degree requirements, you can walk in commencement and still go abroad as long as you haven't officially graduated. And usually that's called declaring candidacy to graduate, because you need to retain your student status. So again, you can complete your degree requirements before you go abroad, you can walk in commencement before you go abroad, but you still need to be a UCSB student. So say you finish your classes, you walk in commencement in June, you can study abroad for the summer or even the following fall, or even that full academic year, the full year, you can go abroad as well. If you receive any financial aid, Usually there's more limited financial aid after your 2 or 4 years here. So you just want to check with the financial aid advisor, but there should be at least some financial aid for you, and it is definitely possible. Excellent question. Yeah, and I know you guys, if you're part of Associated Students in government, you guys are busy and you have busy lives, and you probably have plans and you have commitments and you have committees that you're a part of. Um, and all of that is fantastic. And you can study abroad too and just enhance all of that, build upon it, give yourself something different, and just an expansion of something outside of your comfort zone, outside of the world that you know as you know it. So I really encourage you guys to look into it. If you have any questions about how to fit it in with your responsibilities and other commitments that you have, please talk with your officers, come talk with us. And we can really kind of map out what the next couple of years might look for you and how you can make all of these good things happen. Abby, are you in Spain right now?
Yes, I am.
That's so cool. Where are you in Spain?
I'm currently in Madrid, and it's 11:40 at night, and studying abroad has literally changed my life, and it is the best decision I think I've ever made. So I highly recommend it.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited for you to be there. So just so everyone knows, like Abby, you are part of the group of students who has been through so much with COVID and the planning and the preparations and the uncertainty. So like I'm getting a little teary right now because I'm just like I'm so impressed by you and your fellow students abroad, and I'm just over the moon that you are out there having the time of your life. So please live it up, go to class, study, but have such a fun time. And I'm just so excited for you to be there.
Thank you so much. And if anyone has questions, you can always like DM me or find me on social media. It takes a lot of planning and work, especially during COVID, but it's definitely well worth it. So thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Abby. All right, a couple more questions. How do you arrange housing at UCSB if you're studying abroad for just a semester or quarter? Nice. Typically, students who go abroad for just a semester or quarter, you usually sublease from each other. So if you're going for fall, usually you'll sublease or sublease to someone who's going abroad for that spring semester, just vice versa. So we push everyone toward the UCSB community housing rental listing. So that's where everyone finds each other, and it works out really nicely. Actually, the numbers correspond so nicely. And then we also have international students from abroad who are coming in just for a quarter or a semester. So we are also referring them to that rental listing site so that they can also sublease from you. So the housing office is super familiar with EAP students. They are there to help you. So that works out really, really nicely. Yeah. Yay, Tessa, you studied abroad for the past year in Israel and you recommend the experience. Oh, I dream about the food that I ate in Israel. That must have been so amazing. And now you're back at UCSB.
Yes, it was the best time. And I think especially during COVID, if anything, COVID made it easier to travel and study abroad because we could do our classes remotely. So yeah, I think I highly recommend it. I think it's an incredible experience, and I don't think you could ever do something like it if you're not, a college student living somewhere abroad like that. So
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. Any other questions or any other stories from those of you who have studied abroad? Cool. Well, I'm going to give you all my email address. If you think of any questions, you want to help getting started, shoot me an email. I'm super excited to help you guys. And I'm just so happy that to be able to share EAP with you guys so you know for yourself, but also when you're thinking about other students who are trying to find major classes, they're trying to find housing, they're trying to find ways to use their financial aid, trying to find that kind of experience to boost up their resume. You know, keep EAP in the back of your mind as something that it's so integrated into UCSB. And we would love to see more students take advantage of it and just be aware of it. So it's out there and it exists. So with that, I think I'll wrap it up, and looks like I'll leave you guys with a bit of a break, but I'll leave that up to Holly.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thanks for your time as well and all the information that you've shared here today. And I think that that would be great if there are no objections. We can wrap up and then resume back together at 3 o'clock for our next session.